Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this talk show. I'm so glad and proud to present to you this program tonight. We're going to speak about a very important Latin author whose name is Seneca, and now I'm going to introduce you Sarah, a very important psychologist from New Zealand that's going to introduce you all the other hosts.
Thank you, Sarah. Sophia, as we know, is our amazing presenter from South Africa. Then I'm going to introduce you all the other opinions. We have Andrea, a famous professor from Colorado University. Good evening. Then we have Francesca. Francesca, who are you?
Everybody, I'm a sociologist from Italy.
Hello. And then Giorgia from us, our philosopher from Philadelphia.
Good. Thank you, everybody. Giorgia, you can start. Okay. As we know, Seneca was born in Corolla, Spain, around 3rd BCE. He lived and wrote during the Roman Principate, and belonging to a provincial family. He received philosophical and rhetorical education in Rome. He considered himself to be a Stoic. In fact, according to Seneca, philosophy is ars vivendi. It is the theory and practice of living. It improves lives of individual and society.
What's the philosophical system here refers to?
Well, his philosophical system he refers to is the Stoic moral philosophy, because for Seneca, philosophy coincides with ethics. And so, the model, the paradigm to imitate is the Stoic wise. The Stoic wise escapes from vices, pursuing the glory of virtue. Virtue is a kind of living entity. The test wise to recover is our inner life, in order to reach the autokeia, isn't it?
So you spoke about autokeia, right? And here's someone really you professors have asked what it is.
Of course, pleasure. Well, autokeia is the ability to control themselves, but it is also sufficient themselves. Moreover, there are many locutions in Seneca's works which are based upon autokeia, like recendenteipse. In fact, the metaphoric value which hidden in the sentence can point out the return to his own out.
But Professor, what is the meaning of the locution recendenteipse?
Well, it's literally translated as retire yourself for how much you're able to. The sentence is the peak of a discord that underlines the theme of the necessity to escape from the influence of the crowd. So, this was an ancient theme present in moral preaching, and it's mainly meant like wanting to flatter him to the level of the common people. So, in fact, for Seneca as well, the tastes of the crowd are dangerous and contagious, above all for the one who is making the first footsteps in the walk that brings to the virtue. Then the shelter is necessary to the importance.
Which other connection can we find in Seneca's works?
Well, in other Seneca's texts appear numerous variations of the theme of the recapture of the autonomy. As the peremptory one, di comunque su Ibimeusum, Epistle Chim 62:1, if I'm not wrong, and to the problem of time, his conscious use, Seneca has devoted a whole work, the Dibattito, in which the conviction of the recapture of time is a fundamental element to the further capture of itself.
Thank you. Who does the Dibattito talk about it?
So, firstly, I'm going to introduce you what the Dibattito is. The Dibattito is a book that is part of the early period of his life, in which youth and periods away from Rome are characterized by individual studies and improvement. This book also is part of the Dialogue books, in which Seneca says that we complain about the shortness of life, but the truth is that we waste much of our time that we're not able to spend in the right way. And moreover, he says that the amount of life is an issue of no importance, or even better, a false issue. What matters then is its quality. So how you live, how you spend your time, because we must know how to live.
And excuse me, could you tell us what are the spirit that distracts us and to people away from the care of our being?
Yeah, sure. It's life robs us from life. We must be aware from the simple becoming of events to do not be transported from it. And to do that, we need to take time under control.
So, how is conceived time?
Well, time control is necessary to regain self-possession, to be able to go towards wisdom. most precious thing we have, because when it's over, we cannot have it back. Moreover, Seneca considers our past life, so the whole life behind us, embraces death. Sorry, excuse me guys, I'm confused. So, our past life is embraced by death. And while we postpone things, life goes and doesn't come back, because time has a fleeting and irreversible character.
So, as you spoke about self-possession, now we need to know what we need it for.
Yeah, can you explain us?
Yes, the reference point clearly is the Greek Stoic philosophy of Seneca, where the one care self is seen as a real theory and medicine practice. This means that to heal ourselves, we must take note of our situation as patients. And so, philosophical Greek time pathos indicates a state-body passivity, either of the subject or of the soul, that can enjoy passions, and for this reason it is open to moral evil and it is uncontrolled by the ego. An invitation of Seneca to one's care self is vindicativity.
Professor, what is the meaning of the locution vindicati?
Well, in this locution, the invitation is to take ownership of themselves. Get it? So, this recovery should be done starting right away. So immediately. And vindicare, as a matter of fact, is used in the sense of vindicare libertatem, which means getting free from the bondage. The exhortation in the sentence is built with the game of the personal pronouns in mirror. So we have tu, which is the implied subject of vindicare. We have te, which is the object, and then we get tv, which is the dative of interest.
Yeah, okay, so you say that vindicativity, which means return care of you and take care of yourself.
Correct.
Am I right?
You're
Okay,
right.
but why would you do that? Could you explain it?
Yeah, so I'd like to read something my student wrote, and he cannot be here unfortunately tonight, but he wrote something really important. So we need to take care of ourselves for Yuvari mortality.
What is it?
Well, in his public life, until the last moment, Seneca tried to Yuvari mortality, which is a requirement that obliges the wise to help others out. As required by the philosophy,
Which philosophy?
the Stoicism he used to follow. Yeah, we talked about. And he pulled the wisdom which the wise had received and guided them towards conversion improvement. So he guided other people to improvement. So to do this, Seneca does not only preach. He presents himself to the disciples in place to make this slow work of improvement and walks towards a penitence, delighting in the imperfection of his nature. Seneca, therefore, decided to get himself an example, which is a role model and driving force towards the imitation. So Seneca started from the re-establishment of the individual moral, and then point and generalize social morality. There is therefore a double line of action. On one hand, the improvement of the self, a form of capacity that occurs through a process of vertical trust that separate themselves from social convention, customs, and above all, the passion.
Yeah, so we talk about passion, and as we know, the Seneca's thought about human passion is strictly connected to that naked man of something we can call a vertical trust that will make him a better man. Then he can become helpful to the others. So we need to work first of all on ourselves, as Seneca said, and then we can be able to help the others. And we can do that toward the approaches that will take us towards wisdom.
How can we reach wisdom?
Seneca gives us a behavioral example that should be simply followed like a step-by-step process. And one of the basic and the most important approaches of this process is to abstain from all that's bad for us.
So passion or something bad.
Yeah, passion or something bad. And also the influence of the crowd.
So we can say that Seneca supports constructive individualism.
Yeah.
The purpose is peace and freedom with itself. After attaining peace, he cannot act with humanity and he can be useful to others.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'd like to hear something from our sociologists. So, what can we say about craft?
Yeah, side of the person in the practical class. Seneca puts in evidence the risk of impersonal crowd with these animal instincts that try to overlap the individual through contact there where these cannot escape. The weakness of an individual in front of the crowd is an invitation to withdraw itself as far as possible. The crowd is presented like a move to mass as one thing, corrupt, sunk in defects, unable to aspire to be an improvement. And it's like a mass capable of infecting who are not firm in their ideas. And the contagion is easier when the spirit is not vigilant, including the vices of the crowd. Okay.
So that's
Yeah.
So passions and crowd are something that
Now we can talk about passion. And passion, as I already said, is a topic that is really important for Seneca. And Seneca explained this topic in the Dibattito video, especially in a book called The Era, where is Mentality. And Seneca analyzed the topic of passion, and especially the topic of anger, which is the worst passion for him. Anger is presented like a beast, because all the discussion is based on the parallelism between anger and beast. Because anger can attack us like a wild animal. And now it's important to know how can we prevent passion from taking control. We can act as exactly as we will do with a wild beast. So we have to take it under control, to keep it high, and try not to show it, because if we show it, they will take over us.
So if we are angry, we can't show it. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So we see that to abstain from passion and crowd is important to reach with wisdom. But why do we need it?
Well, again, my student was something really important. So we need wisdom for becoming helpful for the others, right? And this is behavior that Seneca calls horizontal expansion.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example, please, Professor?
Yeah, of course. So for Seneca, an example that makes very clear his ethics is the one of the military. In fact, for the soldier who trains his physical and practicing military techniques, they can actually improvement on himself, right? And this is the vertical truth. So just to improve his capacity. And on the other hand, we have the soldier who's putting himself, including in a project that involves the whole legion. So realizes his full potential as a soldier. So the whole legion, the entire crowd of soldiers. So this is the horizontal expansion.
Thank you. It was such a pity that your student couldn't come tonight.
I know.
And I think I learned something new. And I hope for you guys was the same. And I hope everyone enjoyed it. And I hope to see you next week on Sunday. We're going to speak about another important thing. So thank you, everyone. Hope to see you next week.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.